Hello everyone, I'm Daisy Ip. Welcome to Business Lounge, a series we're going to interview businessmen or businesswomen from the UK, Benelux and Ireland regions, sharing their experiences with Hong Kong. We will have our first guest, Mr. Hans Poulis today. Hello Hans, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to become our first guest. So maybe just tell our audience here today, what does your company IGC International do?
We are a global trade company and we are specialized in merchandise, promotional products and consumer products. And we are based in 43 countries all over the world. And we are servicing mainly multinational companies who need this kind of products. That we are really on the highest level of compliance to corporate social responsibility, which is very important for our customers, that we can deliver a full transparency of the supply chain and be sure that our products are produced in the right factories, which are audited and which are really compliant to the set rules.
You also have another hat as the chairman of the Netherlands Hong Kong Business Association. Is it actually how we met?
Of course, you can imagine that we are doing a lot of productions in China, visiting China and Hong Kong since 1994, and to give also something, let's say, connect people with consultants, connect people with the right companies to start their businesses in China. We have 200 plus members in the Netherlands, quite high number of members. The fact that we are positioned as a trade country, a country with a lot of trade. And one important element is, of course, the harbor of Rotterdam, which is the gateway to Europe. Therefore, you can in fact compare the Netherlands a little bit with Hong Kong. Hong Kong is also the gateway to China. And it's also positioned as trade, and that's the same for the Netherlands.
Since you've been doing business for so long in Asia, how has it changed?
One of the big changes I have seen and I've experienced during the 90s and early 20s, then you see still, let's say, factories in Hong Kong. That's not the case anymore. That's all moved to China. But there is still a lot of knowledge in Hong Kong, and that knowledge is needed to do proper business in China. That's really an added value. And there's where I see the change, and also the fact that the whole world is visiting Hong Kong to do business, using the fairs as a kind of tool. Hong Kong is needed to do proper business in China because that's a challenging situation, especially for, let's say, mid-sized companies, to do direct business in China. That will be a challenge.
And in your view, what are the Hong Kong's advantages, which as a business partner, which you quickly mentioned because we have the know-how, but what other advantages you share with our audience today?
Hong Kong as a city where you can get the knowledge, where you can get the consultants, you can arrange your financials. All these elements are very important, so that you can have a focus on your business in China with support from people who are really experienced with China but live in Hong Kong, and that's for us also a key element to use this model.
And how did your company deal with the challenges over last year or even 18 months?
With a lot of stress, but stress in a positive way, because we never had such a good year as 2020. And the reason behind is that we were extremely fast and flexible with our reaction on the situation of needs for protection material against COVID, like masks and clothes and gloves and these kind of products. So we did extreme good business with these products, getting from China, shipping out to the whole world. So we started in February already, 2020, and we did extreme good business from this perspective.
Running on that questions, what opportunities do you see looking ahead? Maybe for the next 6 months or even a year?
Because what we experience in the world is that some countries having a kind of protectionism to protect their own industry and economy. Although we are aiming for globalization, because our type of customers, they want to consolidate their business and want to have a trustworthy supplier. So my expectation is there are interesting opportunities to enhance the globalization model, and that's also for our strategy very important. We will continue expanding international business.
On the last note of this interview, any tips for others hoping to break into the Asian market?
We expect it will be an interesting growing market for the future. Economies in Asia are doing quite well, and also the door will be more and more open to do business.
Thank you. And I think if anyone is based in the Netherlands, just come to the Netherlands Hong Kong Business Association as well.
For sure.
Netherlands Hong Kong Business Association. If anyone is following them on LinkedIn or Twitter, we all know how active you are and how well connected you are with partners and stakeholders in Hong Kong.
It's one of the added values of services which an association as the NHKBA can provide the members. And we are welcoming new members, of course, to provide these services to them.
Yeah, and on the very last note, because the NHKBA is also part of the Federation of Hong Kong Businesses.
Correct. Yeah. So we are connected to most of the countries in the world, also from this perspective. Yeah.
We gather in Hong Kong every December, don't we?
Correct. And hopefully this year it will happen physically live.
Yes, hopefully. Well, thank you very much, Hans, for sharing your wonderful tips with our friends today.
You're welcome.